Today I'll be showing you my method for cleaning the Ruger Wrangler 22 caliber revolver. I'm Dustin and you're watching Guns of the West. Now my method for cleaning the Ruger Wrangler is basically the same as the Heritage Rough Rider revolver. So if you've seen that video, you might not be seeing any new techniques here. However, if you don't have a Heritage Rough Rider, you may not have had an interest in clicking that video and may not have realized it would help you if you do have a Ruger Wrangler. So the Wrangler will get its own video. I've been doing a bit of shooting with it lately, so have the kids, and we've got it pretty dirty. In fact, I'm going to be completely honest with you. This will be the first time I've taken the gun apart to clean it thoroughly. In the past, I've only done things like pushing cleaning swabs through the barrel just between loads when I'm doing accuracy testing and things for videos so that the tests are fair. But as far as taking out the cylinder, washing it all thoroughly, this will be the first time, so should be good and dirty. I'm going to be using the ultrasonic method again, and I realize not everybody has an ultrasonic machine. I've had people comment on that, saying it's too expensive, don't show it that way. But the thing is, if you own guns, the guns are way more expensive than that, so this is not much of an investment beyond the purchase of a gun. Plus now, they come in so many sizes and prices that it's actually pretty easy to get one. This is I'd probably call it a mediocre one. It's better than the one in my earlier ultrasonic videos, but it's certainly reasonably priced, and I got it on Amazon. It wasn't given to me or anything. I'll put a link down in the description to everything that I'm using today. So if you want to get one, that's where you'll be able to find it. And it's got the settings on it for the temperature. It's set to 25. The actual temperature right now is 32 degrees Celsius. I'm going to bump this up. I usually bump it up to about 35. We'll get that started. And it's not real steady. It'll bring the temperature up. It may even go above that. And 35, I'm just ballparking it. That's just basically a little warm. And I put the water in a little warm to start with. For solvent, I'm just using Dawn dish soap, and it works great. I know a lot of you are on my channel because you like black powder guns. This is outstanding for those, just Dawn and warm water. And lately, I've even been using on modern guns with great results. And then for the oil afterwards, the Ballistol, or Ballistol, depending on your pronunciation. And for gun cleaning, nowadays, I pretty much just like it in the aerosol, although it is available in the 16-ounce bottles. And Guns of the West, if you didn't already know, is now a dealer of that. And so there'll be a link to that too. That'll be on my website. The cleaning rod I'm using is from a cleaning kit that I showed before. It's the Boost Eddy kit. And it's just got the 22 long rifle adapter on it. Of course, we've got the Ruger Wrangler. And something new that was sent to me, this product was sent to me in exchange for showing it in the video. I've been using it a bit for multiple things, as I'll explain, and I really like it. And that is a new cleaning mat. And this comes from One Tigress, and I've had several cleaning mats in the past. A couple of things I love about this one, and this is, yes, they sent it to me, but this is a genuine recommendation. This thing is fantastic. It's got these cutouts, I'll hold it up a little closer, little cutout areas to hold your screws, and I've shown other mats that do that. But what I really like on this one, these little gray circles, those are magnets. So when you have small gun parts like screws and other things, you can just set them right on the magnet so you're not losing them onto the floor all the time. If you accidentally move the mat, they don't just roll off. And before I started using gun cleaning mats, before I realized that it's really a necessary tool, I would just roll up a towel or something. But then, you get stuck in the fabric of the towel, or you move the towel and again, it falls off. This magnet feature has been awesome, and so I'm glad to show you that. And again, there will be a link down in the description and possibly even a coupon code, so check that out for sure down there. Now, as the temperature is starting to rise over here, it's warm enough, we can get started. To put in the soap, as I've shown before, I don't have a specific amount of soap that I specifically measure out. I just, about like that. Not real precise, but it works. And then I take my cleaning rod, just whip it around, give that a bit of a stir. All right. Now we'll take the Ruger Wrangler, flip up the loading gate. No need to pull the hammer back to half cock on this one. You can see those are all empty chambers. So let's pull out the base pan, cylinder. That's as far as we need to strip the gun. Then I'll take out this basket. Put cylinder is good and dirty right up on the front of it. I hope that's focusing for you so you can see. So put that in there. Base pin, good and sticky. You're gonna get that nice and clean. And then the revolver itself, like when I did in the Rough Rider video, we don't need to take all this apart. We don't need to clean down in there. This is non-corrosive ammo. But, and again, I hope this comes into focus, there is some fouling built up right in here inside the frame, top and bottom. You always get a lot right here around this forcing cone, and of course in the barrel, and down here in the spring where the ejector is. That's what we want to focus on. So we'll get at least that much of the gun submerged. I'll just drop the basket in. Let's see if we can't get the gun to sort of rest. That'll be just perfect. Just what I want submerged is submerged. And I've been toying a lot with the ultrasonic, and it seems that I'm trying it at lower and lower amounts of time each time because it doesn't take much. It defaults to 5 minutes. I'm going to set it to 10, and 10 minutes should actually give us a great clean, and it's doing the work for me. I can watch YouTube videos or whatever I want while this machine cleans my gun. So the temperature is still climbing, and again, it's warm enough to get started. We've got the mat ready, and I should mention too about that mat. They actually sent out a couple of them. This is a rifle one. Same thing, basically, except longer. Still got the magnets on it. And that one I've been liking because I come out here a lot and do work with air guns, as some of you know. And I've got little things like little steel hose plugs and stuff fit right on those circles, and I'm not dropping them all the time down here between the workbenches. Well, anyway, we've got the machine ready to go, so we're just going to push start. But I want to get you the camera view up here when I do that because it's satisfying to watch the fouling immediately start to come out of the gun when you start your machine. Okay, water's nice and clean, but as I hit the start button, we should see it start to dirty immediately. Might be hard to see on camera, but sure enough, we've got clouds of fouling rising up out of those chambers. On the base pin and even starting to come out of the bore. This will run for 10 minutes and we'll resume. Okay, that was 10 minutes. And one of the things that make people hesitant to use water like this in a gun is the possibility of rust. That is a valid concern. So at this point, it's extremely important to get all the parts completely dry, even down in the nooks and crannies. We don't want to leave water in any part of a gun. Now, you could use something like a blow dryer, but if you have a shop compressor, and if you don't, you can get them as low as 40 or 50 bucks at places like Harbor Freight. That is what I recommend using, just with a simple blow gun on the end of it. So let's take the cylinder, for example, and we'll just blow all the water out of all the chambers and off the outside. Alright, so I've blown out all the little nooks and crannies of the gun, the cylinder, blown off that base pin, and again, that's sticks, to show you how those magnets work, sticks right on there, so I don't have to worry about losing it. And the next thing to do is run a patch, and I'm just going to run a dry patch through the barrel and through each of the chambers. And these might push through a little difficult with everything being dry, but I'm just making sure if there was any remaining water down in there, and just to push out any fouling that may not have gotten pushed out. So just put a patch on here. Again, it's a little tight, being that everything's dry. But that patch comes out clean. The ultrasonic machine just does an excellent job. In fact, let's just use the same patch again. Start going through chambers here. And just making sure everything was dry, which it looks to be. So I'll go ahead and just finish these up off camera and be right back. And now, with that done, it's just time to oil it. So I'll take the Ballistol, and again, I like the aerosol ones because I can just give a quick spray down into the chambers. I get them from both ends. Don't even have to spray the outside because it's getting all over my fingers. And this stuff, by the way, is skin safe, 0 carcinogens, so I'm not really worried about wearing gloves with this. If I was using like Hoppy's number 9, even though I'll admit I don't always wear gloves with that, you should. This stuff's pretty safe though, but one thing I will say is make sure you have ventilation, because the fumes, the vapor, could be harmful. And if you can't tell, I'm in the garage with the big garage door wide open, plenty of ventilation in here. So that, got a good amount of that down going into the chambers. And just with what's left on my fingers, I'll take the base pin. Some people I know don't like the aerosol version of this because it can waste, but not really. If you just use what's on your fingers, that was enough to do that. I'll run some of this just around on my barrel to get it off my hands a little bit. But I do want to spray some right down here around the forcing cone and in the bore. And by the way, all that built up fouling on there is gone, so that's nice. Ultrasonic really is strong. I also want to make sure to get down in where that spring is. Work it around like that, and I'll hold the spring up in that position for just a moment to get down below it. And again, just work it around, make sure that ballista all gets moved around. Get some in the muzzle. Get some back here. I'll pull my hammer back just a little bit. Get it in there. And then just rub it around. And this is more than enough. And then from there, where'd my rag go? Got a little rag just to take some excess off my hands. Excess off the gun. One thing I should mention with revolvers, especially if you're new to them, on the front, you can see they're still marked up around the chambers. It's clean, but with revolvers, you get some wear where it sits up against the forcing cone and stuff. So when you clean your revolver, if you can still see rings around the chambers, don't panic. That just sort of is the way it is. You can polish it out. You may have to re-blue if you do that. There's some ballistol that got down inside here where the base pin goes. I can even see it. It's good and wet, and I'm just going to leave that. That'll be a nice lubricant for when it's turning on the base pin. Speaking of the base pin, let's give it a wipe down. Just leave a film on it. Then I'll take a patch. Just go in the bore again. And just run that through just once. That'll take the excess ballistol out. Then I'm going to do it on the chambers as well. So I just start from the back. Push through. And again, I'll repeat this off camera, come back when I'm done. All right, well, everything is clean, pretty easy, really, especially with the ultrasonic setup. You're not dealing with multiple different products and so many patches. So let's go ahead and just get the gun put back together. You know, as some of you know, I'm personally a little partial to the Heritage revolvers just because the way the mechanics are a little more historically correct. But I have to say, these Rugers are pretty slick for putting together and taking apart. Don't even need to have the hammer to half cock. Goes together just like that. And we are done. Don't forget, please, to look in the description down below so you can see where you can get things like an ultrasonic cleaner, the ballistol. You can probably find Dawn dish soap on your own, but if not, go to your local grocery store. Don't forget the one Tigris mat with the magnets on it, pistol size or rifle size. Big thanks to One Tigris for sending that out to me. I love it. I'm going to continue on using it. And of course, good old Ruger Wrangler if you don't have one. Again, I like Heritage, but you're not going wrong if you get one of these. They're pretty cool. Don't forget to click the like button while you're there and subscribe to the channel so you can see more videos. Thank you so much for watching.